This is the year. This year, 2021, is the year for The Legend of Zelda. The 35th anniversary for our beloved series is about to be a jam-packed, massive emotional swing that I hope you can continue to join me on. What exactly could we see? A Skyward Sword remake? Multiple ports to the rumored quote-unquote Switch Pro? Maybe a complete remake from the ground up? My vote is for the latter, quite honestly. In today's video, let's talk about 10 extremely possible scenarios that could potentially happen for the 35th anniversary of the Legend of Zelda series. I want to preface this by saying that all of these possible scenarios, of course, are my own unique opinion. I don't know, I just felt like I needed to say that. All of this coming up. What is up, my loyal Zelda tribe slash theorist? I don't know, I'm still working on the name. How are you? I hope you're having an amazing day. D-Rock here, and I am the creator of Zelda Theory. My goal for this video today, look, I just want you to sit back, relax, and sip on some nice hot coffee, or whatever you're into as we talk about this amazing franchise, The Legend of Zelda. And hey, if you are new here, this channel consists of Zelda guides, walkthroughs, top 5s, theories, as eventually I want this channel to be the best source period for any and all things Zelda. So that if any time you find value during our conversation today, definitely hit that subscribe button and turn on all of those notifications, man. I appreciate your time so much. So let's get the first scenario out of the way, the obvious scenario. We're going to start with Breath of the Wild 2. Now, Nintendo has already confirmed a sequel to the masterful Breath of the Wild game, which was the headline launch title for the Nintendo Switch. It's rumored that Breath of the Wild 2 is coming in the near future. Again, we don't have a release date. What we do know is that it is a direct sequel to Breath of the Wild with plenty of hints in its teaser trailer as to recurring enemies we might see from previous games. The Twilight from Twilight Princess, mini-boss Zant from the same game, or even the big bad Demise from Skyward Sword. We're going to dive more into that in the other possible scenarios. There's so many good theories out there. I love it. Definitely take some time and go and consume those theories because they're freaking amazing. I'm just saying. Now, given the trailer dropped in mid-2019 during the E3 Expo, we're well due for an update on the development of the game. Is it even still happening? You know how Nintendo is. And the franchise's 35th anniversary is honestly the perfect time to release Breath of the Wild 2. Now, there has been a good handful of rumors around an upgraded Nintendo Switch Pro console too, which could sport and give 4K upscaling for TV outputs, as well as a beefed up handheld experience. And what better way to launch new hardware than with a AAA Zelda experience? If the Nintendo Switch Pro is actually a legit thing, hands down, that's gotta be the flagship title or the release title is Breath of the Wild 2, because you're gonna want a AAA Zelda experience for sure. Next up on the possible scenarios, and this is something that I've been talking about for a long time on the series, is a Skyward Sword port or a full remake of Skyward Sword for the Nintendo Switch. Now, here's the thing. Are we actually going to see a port or are we going to see a remake? The game landed on a hugely popular Nintendo Wii console and even got a Wii U port back in 2016. And the time is so exciting, and it is definitely time to move over to the latest Nintendo hardware, especially given the game's use of motion controls. And this is a little shout out to Joy-Con. Your time has come. They can do something with the Joy-Cons to make Skyward Sword either a really good port or a massively successful Skyward Sword remake. This is something, again, that I want tremendously because Skyward Sword would be my favorite game in the series. I just love origin stories. But the one gripe that I had is I was just sick and tired of recalibrating my Wii Motion Control Plus. It was very annoying, and with the Switch technology or the Switch Pro technology, this is something that can be easily fixed. So we all know the game takes place in the floating city of Skyloft, a refuge for humanity far above the ravaged quote-unquote surface that was stricken by evil forces centuries before. A port or a remake would certainly give the game a new set of fans on a console with suitable motion capabilities. Now, in my opinion, most exceptionally crucial, though, Skyward Sword lays the foundations of the mythology surrounding series villain Ganondorf and his alter ego, the Demon King demise, who we may have gotten a glimpse of in Breath of the Wild 2 trailer. Again, there's some awesome theories out there on that. What better way to prep for a Breath of the Wild 2 sequel than a refresh on some of the background lore of this amazing franchise? So here's something that's been going around on the Zelda communities and forums and all of that, and that is a collection of 3D games. We literally just got a 3D Mario All-Stars all-on-one collection. That was pretty cool. So it's definitely going to happen. I feel like it's going to happen. It's definitely something that Nintendo would benefit from, and they did it with Mario. Why wouldn't you do it with Zelda? There is actually a host of 3D games that Nintendo could package together on the Switch, though a variety of console generations are likely. Maybe Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword all together, maybe not. I don't know. Whatever happens, we're certainly painfully aware of any absences and could absolutely see the incredible cel-shaded Wind Waker getting left out in the cold. I mean, Wind Waker's done. It's over with. Yes, it was awesome. I just don't think it needs to happen again. Let's just be honest. Now, I just hope Nintendo doesn't limit its availability to just a few months, though, as it did with the Mario collection. So number 4, we could potentially have a Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD double pack. Both of the games got an HD upgrade for the Wii U, and it shouldn't be a huge task to sort of port over to the Nintendo Switch console. My homie Drip Media Gaming actually did an awesome video on this. I'm gonna link to that in the cards of this video and in the description of this. Go check that out, man. Super awesome guy. Now, as both originally launched on the Nintendo GameCube, it would be a suitable pairing while offering 2 Zelda titles totally distinct in visual style. I mean, you guys know what I mean. Wind Waker had a cel-shaded cartoon aesthetic, sort of, and the Toon Link you'll definitely know from Smash Bros. Ultimate, and Twilight Princess acting as the more moody, cinematic elder sibling. Speaking of Twilight Princess's aesthetic, I was listening to a podcast, and there's a lot of people that do not like the art style of Twilight Princess. I don't understand that. Why? I loved it. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Now, while these games were only released 3 years apart, they couldn't be any more different, with the former taking place in a talking sailboat that takes you across the seas, and later showing a Hyrule that's descended into shadow after invasion from a Twilight realm. I think it'd be a great combo to show the range that the Zelda series has to offer. You know, nice cartoony vibe, dark, pretty up my lane, up my alley, Twilight realm vibes. Now, another possible scenario is a Link to the Past remake. Now, one of the good remakes that we seen last year was Link's Awakening remake. I wasn't a big fan, but I gotta admit the graphics were pretty nice. It was a remake of the 1993 Game Boy title given a modern makeover with enhanced 3D. It was still top-down visuals. The door is wide open then for another Zelda game to get the similar treatment, and I personally think that A Link to the Past is an obvious choice. Believe it or not, Nintendo does listen to their fans, and that's what I really love about them. The game was released on the SNES in 1991, and it was the 3rd title in the Zelda series and marks the first appearance of the iconic Master Sword. It's available to play for Nintendo Switch Online subscribers in its original format, but something of a touch-up certainly wouldn't go amiss. Including the 4 Swords multiplayer adventure mode would only sweeten the deal. Now here's another one you might have seen floating around forums, and that is the Special Edition console and Joy-Cons. It's a commemorative event, and it's Nintendo. No one's gonna be surprised to see a dedicated console or Joy-Cons skins to mark the occasion. We got as much in early 2021 for Mario with the blue and red skin of the mainline Switch console, and some similar green and gold combo with some sword and shield on there from the series would make gaming at home all the more, for lack of a better word, Zelda Eve. Now the other thing, and not too exciting, is more free Zelda games on the Nintendo Switch Online. Nintendo is running out of NES and SNES titles to add to its Nintendo Switch Online service, ongoing several months at a time without new software joining its dedicated emulator for classic games. It's about time we started seeing some other platforms join the fray. For the Game Boy family of handhelds, we could see the Minish Cap, you know, the one on the Game Boy Advance, or a pairing of Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages, the Game Boy Color games making an appearance. If Nintendo dared, to bring us a 3D Zelda game to the service, then maybe potentially Majora's Mask or Ocarina of Time from the Nintendo 64 could appear. I'm not gonna hold out though, given that a slow release of remastered and full price remakes would be lucrative for Nintendo in the long run. though its recent footage dragging around new games on the service could point to a bigger launch of titles from another platform in the near future. So here's something that you might not have thought of: Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC fighters. Now there's two things that we don't know: what Nintendo's Zelda anniversary announcement is going to be, and two, what Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC fighters are yet to come out of the popular fighting game. Could it be that the announcements potentially are going to be linked together? There are only 3 DLC characters yet to be unveiled in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and while the Zelda series is pretty well represented already with the likes of Link, Young Link, Zelda, Toon Link, Sheik, and Ganondorf on the roster, there's certainly some quirkier side characters that would make great additions in their own right. The delusional fairy enthusiast Tingle from so many of the Zelda games would certainly bring some rosy-cheeked chaos to the screen. More obvious additions could be Midna or Zant from Twilight Princess, especially if they're announced alongside a Switch port. Now, Midna's powerful Twilight hand, as well as her terrifying form, would be very exciting to throw into the action. Villain Zant, on the other hand, with his spin attacks and heavy blows and crazy personality, could be a contender in his own right, or make an interesting eco fighter based on Ganondorf's current moveset. If you guys are still here, you are the true super fans of this channel. I appreciate you so much, man. Number 9 is The Legend of Zelda Battle Royale. Now, if you weren't paying attention around all those Mario announcements, I'm gonna regret to inform you that there is a side-scrolling Mario Battle Royale, and I wouldn't put it past Nintendo to release a Zelda iteration of some form. Normally, if there is a Mario drop of something, Zelda is right around the corner, or vice versa. I mean, you feel me? Maybe a similarly 2D game where you need to slash opponents off the screen, or kind of like a Fortnite copycat that sees hundreds of links and Zelda is just hang gliding over Hyrule, you know, shooting arrows and bombs while hordes of moblins charge from the horizon. That actually sounds quite good, Nintendo. Let's do this. Finally, for number 10, The Legend of Zelda AR game. This would be friggin' awesome, right? Nintendo has had great success with its Pokemon Go game, and it's already inspired plenty of imitations such as Harry Potter, Wizards Unite, or The Walking Dead Our World. All we want is a Breath of the Wild inspired version of finding Korok seeds around Hyrule. Just give us a better reward than a gold pile of crap. I don't know, dude. I think it would be super cool just to see an AR Zelda game. 100%. I'm ready for this. So hey man, if you found value in this video, I have a bunch of Zelda content that I think you're gonna dig. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, turn on all notifications, but most importantly, above anything else, continue to be the light in this dark world. But remember, it's dangerous to go alone. I'll check you guys on another Zelda video. Let's hop over.